Hey y'all, I'm back. It's the weekend, baby. Anyway, I wanted to come back on here and say something pertaining to the videos that I did about William, the man who was harassing me in a prior place of employment. I just want to encourage anybody who's been going through a similar situation and say, don't do what I did. If you're in a situation where you have someone harassing you, I don't care whether that person is a supervisor, a coworker, a subordinate, vendor, or a customer, then depending on your exact circumstances, I think you should at least, at the very least, at the very minimum, go have a serious conversation with the person who has been bothering you and tell that person to leave you alone. That, explain to them very clearly what it is that they're doing to you or saying that is bothersome or offensive. Because sometimes people may be harassing you or doing something that's offensive and may not even know. I mean, you should at the very least give the person the benefit of the doubt, unless what they're doing is something blatantly offensive, like groping or battery or something to that extent. But if the person is, like, say, making a remark that can be interpreted in an offensive way, interpreted to be offensive, then I think you should probably give the person the benefit of the doubt by at least going to them first before filing a formal complaint, and give them the opportunity to rectify the situation. But if their behaviors continue after that point, then I would say that you would be well within your rights to file a formal complaint against that person. In the situation that I was going through, I would have definitely been within my rights to file a complaint against William after I told him the first time to leave me alone and to stop what he was doing. And I saw that I wasn't being respected and taken seriously. But because I was so young at the time and I feared retribution, and I also feared that there would be some sort of backlash, and also coupled with the fact that I was new there and wanted to prove myself. I'm the type of person who is sometimes I can be overly analytical, and there was a whole lot of things going through my mind. Like, I was worried that people wouldn't believe me, being that I was a new person there, and that William had a lot more seniority and was a well-respected person in that industry, having many more years of experience than I did. So I felt like they wouldn't take me seriously and they wouldn't believe me. And also, I didn't have any real evidence that he was doing what he was doing. It would have been just my word against his. So I just opined over that for several months, and I just worried that no one would believe what I had to say. So it's like I was waiting for an opportunity to where I would have a witness or evidence that he was overstepping his boundaries with me. But that opportunity never came. So I'm going to tell you what it was that prodded me to go forward and say something to one of my other team leads about what was happening to me. And it's that I had a conversation with my ex-boyfriend at the time. We were no longer involved like that, but we did choose to remain friends after we broke up. And we would call each other by phone every few days. So that situation had become so distressing to me that I started to confide in him about it, and he offered to go to the job and confront William about that. I know that if I gave him the okay to do that, it would have been a big mess knowing my ex-boyfriend, because he's a very hot-tempered person. He's not a thug and he's not a violent person by nature, but if he's pushed, he is prone to lose it and probably become violent. So I knew that if it came to that, it would have been a situation that got out of hand and someone would have been either seriously hurt or ended up in prison or both. So I said, I got to do something. That's what pushed me to make the decision to just go ahead and say something to my team lead about it and not worry about the consequences after that, because I knew that I would have been saying something about that situation in good faith and not just saying it to, not just reporting the incident to be a troublemaker or to stir up crap. Anyway, in closing, I just want to say, if you're in that situation, go ahead and do what you got to do for yourself. Nobody should have to tolerate such treatment in the workplace. You are protected by laws in the United States. So those behaviors are considered illegal, depending on what type of behaviors we're talking about, because every situation is different. Sexual harassment is illegal, and you are protected by federal law in the United States. And I had mentioned in one of my prior videos that I was worried about William losing his job if I were to complain. And I'm going to say something about that. Don't worry about the person who's offending you losing their job, because you also have to look at it from this standpoint. If they're harassing you, then that's an indicator that the person does not respect boundaries, and they may not even respect you as an individual and as an employee. That right there is saying a lot about that person's character. So if you report them and they end up losing their job or being reprimanded or disciplined and having something in their records because of it, then that's on them. They brought that on themselves. So I wouldn't worry about that. You have to take care of yourself first and worry about yourself and your psychological and physical well-being first. So don't worry about them getting fired or written up. That's all I have to say. All right.